Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, I just want to say I did finish the week with 15 wins and 5 losses for a win rate of 75%, which is below my weekly goal of 80%. But I had a rough start to the week and I did recover, so I am very fortunate that I did manage to get up to 75% for the week. So I am very happy about that, even though it's below my weekly goal, but it is what it is. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These videos take a long time to make, and I do them so you guys can understand why I took to play and my thoughts and mindset and stuff like that. So these are for educational purposes only, and so please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in the bio section of social media. So with that said, you can also go on Twitter and you can see the timestamps of the alerts. Now I show every single play I've done, not just the winners, but the losers. I know a lot of people don't show everything. They only show the winners and brag about the losers, but never show the losses. And I really cannot stand that because it's easy to brag about your 1 or 2 winners, but you don't know how many losses people have taken in order to get those wins. So that's very scummy, if you ask me. So, okay, Monday I started out with 2 wins and 1 loss, and I had a swing, but I'll get into that in a second. So we'll just start out with 1 play at a time. The first play was Twitter. I took Twitter calls at open on Monday, which one's Monday? Right here, the 23rd, right there. Now I've been watching Twitter, because you can see on the hourly it's just been getting beat down, and I've been watching for a reversal, and finally it happened on Monday. So as you can see right here, this was my top watch, but you can see the the inverted head and shoulders, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and it just gapped up and just ran. So I did grab the Twitter 64 calls on 97 cents, and they went to $1.28 in that little pop right there. I mean, it looks like it looks like a lot, but it's really not that much. I mean, I got it closer to 64 and only ran like 50 cents. So, but it's a nice little quick play. Then I ended up having SPX calls at Monday the 23rd. Where are you? Right here. Now what time did I have those? 1:34. 1:34. Right here. I had at 44.90 calls at $1.30, and I ended up selling some at $1.50, and I ended up taking a loss on it. I don't understand how I managed to take a loss when, let me bring up SPX on the 23rd right here. Now you get to chart SPX, not SPY, because VWAP does not show up on SPX. 134, which is right here. I mean, it went up there, and I got the 4. Oh, I think I remember what I was doing. I did get it at $1.30, and I sold some, reducing risk at $1.50. And what I was expecting it to make a high day of 44.90 and break through it, because usually that's what's been happening. It will drop, it'll come back up, and it will retest higher day and make new a higher day. And I think that I was holding it, hoping that it would break the high of day, and it didn't. It just got smashed right away. So yeah, that didn't work out. Now I had a long-term swing play on Nvidia. This was before, let's see, before the split. I got it right down here in the 180. Now I had the 215, 280 call spread at $1.42, and I sold it Monday, which was the 23rd, right here. I got them at $1.42 and I sold it at $3.30, and I know that some people had a hard time selling, but on that day, but I told them just to take the limit order and just set it and forget it, because in my opinion, you know, Nvidia could be 250 plus by the end of this year. So if you're still in it, you're in the room, no worries, don't worry, just set a limit order. It will fill eventually. I mean, Nvidia is going to end up being because we got the swing out to January 2023. I mean, this could be $300 by then, so I would not worry about Nvidia. Nvidia is not a stock to be worried about. So I did get 100% out of that, and the other play I had, I alerted on Monday, but I ended up swinging most of the week, was Microsoft. Now I had Microsoft puts on 23rd right here. Now this is why I took it. You got Microsoft had this major run from 288 to 305 in 2 days, and the RCT trend line is way down here. So I grabbed, let's see, what time did I grab them? I didn't end up posting them. Let's see. They're in the room. Let's see the timestamp. I'm trying to get the timestamp. 9:51. So I got it. 9:51 right here. I got it. As you can see, it tried to dip, it went back up, rejected the 305 area, and came back down harshly right there. This is where I grabbed it, and I grabbed the 300 calls, and it didn't pop back up, and it chopped. I wasn't worried about it. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to play the direction of the RCT trend line, and I was going to hold it for that. And luckily, it did work out, but it didn't work out as good as I thought it would. Because I ended up selling it on, let's see, I think I sold it on, let's see, Thursday, I think. Let's see, which date I end up dropping them. The 26th, yeah, Thursday. I should have held them because they definitely probably gone higher than because I had them at $1.65 and I got out at, you know, I don't know, in the 170s as soon as they turned green, because this thing just, it chopped all day Monday, then it dropped, it came back up, then it gapped up and dropped. I mean, it didn't really get any value until Thursday. So I was just like, okay, it's been going lower, but the price has been getting on the option has been going down because of theta and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, but I'm still confident it was going to go in the money. So I held it, and as soon as it turned green, I got out. So that was kind of disappointing. I thought we were going to have a nice little smash, but it did not work that way. So, but I did finish the position green, and it was a win. So I'm happy about that. It did take a while. Now on Tuesday, like I said, I had one loss on Monday, and I had two on Tuesday. I started out the week really, really horrible. Tuesday, I had Baba. Now, Baba had this monster gap up, and 99%, I won't say 99, I'll say 90% of the time, you can almost certainly depend on any time Baba gaps up, that it's going to fill the gap on open and dump it open. So we had this monster gap up from 161 to 170, almost a $9 gap up. I was like, okay, for sure this is going to end up filling the gap and dumping. And as soon as it started to drop a little bit, I did grab 160 puts at $2, and she just rocketed on me. So I was kind of surprised about that. But like I said, nothing is 100% certain in trading. 90% of the time it works, and this is the 10% it didn't work. So I was very surprised about that. So I'm not quite sure how low if I even. Oh, I guess if I swung it for the week, they went in the money. So maybe I could have gotten green if I swung it for the week, but I'm not about that. Not unless I'm very, very confident. And to me, Bob has already been getting hammered on, so I can't imagine it was going to get much go to 160. I mean, I was only expecting it to go to 166, or at least the RCT trend line, or even the 200-day moving average. I mean, I was not expecting it to go back to 160. Bob has just been getting hammered on the daily, so shorting it was just to me was just very risky for a week swing, but for day trade, I could definitely see that it was worth the risk. But this time it just didn't work out. Then I had Facebook calls at 10:04 on the 24th. 10:04 right here on the breakout. What did I grab it for? Oh, on the break of the previous day's high of 365.50. I grabbed the Facebook 370 calls at $1.48, and they went from $1.48 to $2.12 on that little push right there. So that was a good clean play. I was happy about that. Then I ended up grabbing Tesla. Tesla's been burning me lately. I don't know why. Usually I'm pretty good about Tesla, but Tesla's just been burning me left and right. So I was just like, okay, whatever. Let's see. I got Tesla puts at 11:26 on the 24th. Let's see. 11:26. Right here. Yep. And you can see, I'm so used to, I can just look at the chart and tell you exactly where I got in now. Right here, I got in here because it dropped, popped back up, this massive green candle, then it started rejecting. It started to have like a little downward pressure right here, and as soon as it broke this area, I grabbed the 285 puts at 365, and it just popped back up, and it just consolidated and just didn't go anywhere. So this wouldn't have mattered if I held all week because it stayed flat. But yeah, that was my second loss for the week. So it is what it is. And on let's see, Wednesday. Where's Wednesday? I had Apple 149 puts it open on Wednesday. Let's see. Yeah, right there. As you can see. Oh yeah, I remember this because I remember calling it out in the room. Get a head and shoulders right here. The left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. I mean, you could even say this is the right shoulder right here, and this is the head, and this is this is the left shoulder. Sorry, the head and the right shoulder. So, and I even said in the room below 149.60. Grab puts. Is that the actual level I said? Apple puts under 149.50 is what I put in the trade ideas room. Now, for those that don't know what the trade ideas is, I put out trade ideas like if I see something setting up that looks good, that I'm gonna say, okay, if the price gets under 149.50 in Apple, for instance, I'm gonna grab puts. If it gets over a certain price, I'm gonna grab calls, and I try to do it in advance so people can go look at the chart. They can pull up the options chain. They can make their own decision if they're going to take it or not. That you take the trade. That's up to you. That's your discretion. It's not financial advice. It's my play. It's what I'm doing. And if you play it, that's up to you. And that's just how I do it. And because a lot of people just end up chasing alerts. I don't want people to chase alerts. I want people to actually to see it before it happens, and I try to do that, but I can't do it all the time, but most of the time I can. In this particular instant, you can see the head and shoulders very clearly in the hourly and in the 10-minute, and they ended up working out. So the 149 puts at 77 cents went to $1.65, 100% right there in that push down. Then I played SPY a few times on Wednesday. I played SPY calls at 9:59 at 10 o'clock. Right here. Right when it came back up over the high, I grabbed the 44.95 calls at 2.15 and pushed to $3 right there. Then I ended up grabbing them again at 11:07, which is right. Where There's 1107. Oh, right here, right in here, for a push through. Now, yeah, I grabbed it right here for a push up. Then it was chopping. I got out in this candle right here. It pulled back down. And I was actually thinking about puts right here. I thought about it right there, but I've been remembering that this is a trap I always fall for. Starts to look strong, has a red candle, pushes through VWAP really, really quickly, and I've been, in the past, I'll grab it when it comes through VWAP, thinking it's going to dump, and it's been a trap. It gets bought back up really quickly, and this is exactly what ended up happening. So, and then it had more of a doji candle right there, and I was just thinking, okay, this thing's going to break out, and I ended up grabbing the 44.95 calls again for the second time at $2.45 this time for the breakout, and it did break out, had a nice monster breakout, and those calls went from 245 to 720, 150% move. It's actually like, I think, 200% move, but whatever. So that was a nice strong push in SPX. Then I ended up grabbing 4,500 calls at 206, which is right here, no, right there, right in here. I grabbed it. Yeah, right in here, I grabbed it, right in there somewhere. The 4,500 calls, I got at $2, and they got pushed to, obviously, it went to a new high a day, and they went to 265. So, nice 65-cent push right there. So, on SPX. So, that was definitely a nice day, nice recovery day, boost to my confidence, because I was kind of like a little like, on Wednesday, because I've had a bad Tuesday. So yeah, Thursday I had Apple calls. Now Apple, I remember this was a fake out. You had to be quick on this one. I grabbed Apple 148 calls at $1.20 at open. Now, as you can see, it had a big drop and gapped down a little bit, and it started to like consolidate in this 148 area. So when it got over pre-market high of 148.50, I grabbed the 148 calls at $1.20, and they got pushed up, and then went from $1.20 to $1.50 in that move. So that was a small little win. Then I had SPY puts. That SPY puts rate at 939 right here. Now, as you can see, it's been staying in this little range, and when it got below 200 EMA right here, that's when I was interested. I grabbed the 449 puts at $1.55, and then it bounced a little bit, then it just got slammed. I think that's when they had the suicide bomb attack or something like that in Afghanistan. So, and then it just knifed hard. So Thursday's non-expiration, they would have been paid really, really nice, but they were so expensive. So I did decide to go with the 449 puts in the money at $1.55, and then went to 338. So that was a 100% move on that. And then I ended up grabbing Twitter puts. I remember this. Twitter did pretty much the same thing. I grabbed them at 1024, which is right here, right in this candle. I did chase it a little bit. I think I was looking at it from this area, I think right in here, the 6360 area or something like that. I was looking at it for some reason right in this area. So I did grab the 64 puts at 57 cents, and then went from 57 cents to $1.43 in that little push there all the way through. So that was another 150% move on Twitter if he held all the way through. So that was a nice little play. Then I ended up going back to SPY and grabbing calls. Now I ended up grabbing calls at 133. Where is it? 133. Right in here. Yeah, right in here. I grabbed it right in here because you could see it started to push up and it started to pull back, and it pulled back some right here, and I grabbed it in this little knife right here, and it got pushed up a little bit. I did get out at 177 or something like that, so then went from 165 to 177. Not much of a move, and the good thing I did get out because it did end up knifing more right there. So yeah, that did not really work out if you held, because I was actually thinking that we were going to end up having a nice little dip, then we're going to actually pull back up, make kind of like a cup and handle kind of look, and just push to day's highs, but it didn't. So I kind of got in and out really fast, and not much of a win, but a small win. So that was it on Thursday. I mean, that was the Microsoft. I took Microsoft on Thursday. I already covered that. So then on Friday, Friday wasn't that great of a day for me. Now I grabbed SPY puts at 10:06, which is right here. No, right in here. I grabbed it in this monster candle, and I grabbed the 449 puts at 110, thinking we were going to come back down. This is what Powell. There's just so much to be bearish on in this market, and yet the market doesn't care. Inflation, Afghanistan, tapering. I mean, there's just China. It's just going to go on and on. There's so much for the market to be worried about, but it doesn't seem to care about anything. So, but that will change at some point. It will pick a narrative that it's concerned about and react to it. So, yeah, I grabbed the 449 puts at 110 right in here. It did not really work out. I don't know if I actually took some off and not on that drop. I have to actually look. No, I did not. So yeah, that was a full loss. And then I ended up taking SPX calls at 11:13, which is right here, right in here. I took this little 11:13. I took 410 calls. 11:13. Well, it might have been right here. Yeah, okay. I grabbed it right in here, and it got pushed back up to right up to the higher day again. I did grab the 4510 calls at 215, and they got pushed from 215 to 410 right in there. Then I grabbed BA puts. Now you can see right here it was making an ascending triangle, and I was just looking at it from the point of view that if it did end up see, what's been happening is that anytime SPY shows a little bit of weakness, like right here, it gets back up. So when it did drop a little bit, I grabbed it thinking it was going to go back to high day. The market has just been completely out of control, and it just all the dips have just been getting bought on that day. So, but I ended up taking BA puts at 1257, which I think is right here. No, right here. Yeah, right in here. Yeah, it was this candle because I remember it seeing this big red candle and it rejecting higher day and coming back down. So I grabbed the 2250 puts at 82 cents. Now I'm already in the money because its price is at 222, and 250 is the higher day, or a little over higher day. So I was already in the money, so I wasn't worried about it. And those puts went from 82 cents to $1.40. Not much of a move, but when you're in the money, they move quite a bit. Now, I was looking at previous day's highs, which is right here. It was going to reject that, and it didn't, because I waited for it to reject. It rejected here, and it came back up and rejected again. And I waited for it to get underneath these candles right here, and it finally did, but did retest it again. So I was using from Thursday's highs as resistance. And BA being BA, 90% of the time it likes to lose all its gains, but it held most of its gains. But usually it likes to lose a good portion of it. So that's how I like to play BA. It's kind of like BA and BABA. BA has a tendency of losing most of its gains after a massive run up, and BABA ends up losing most of its gains on any sizable gap up. So you got to make a mental note of these things that end up happening, because they end up repeating a lot, especially with BA and BABA. So yeah, then I went back to SPY, and I had SPY 410 calls. Now I know exactly where I grabbed those. I grabbed those right at 228, which is right. No, I didn't grab it right there. I grabbed it right here. 228, right in there. Yeah, I grabbed it right here. Oh yeah, okay. I remember that's why I grabbed it here. I was looking at it here and I was like, no, no, they're not. It's not gonna push anymore. It's not. It's gonna get. It's not gonna. It's gonna find resistance at 250 and it just plow 250, 450 and it just plowed right through. I didn't want to take it right there. I remember looking at it thinking, okay, it breaks through at 449.88 or 449.90. It's only get a 10% move and it's gonna get harshly rejected at 450, which it did a little bit right here. Did it pop back up? Then it had this drop right here. And I was saying in the room that what happens is whenever price gets away from the moving averages, it likes to come back and test the 20 EMA at least once. And when it dropped down and came close, that's when I ended up grabbing the 45.10 calls at 225. And they did go from 225 to 380 in that little push up to a new high a day. So it likes to test these moving averages at least once. So anytime price gets too far away from it, now like if price gets, like if it drops like this and it comes back up and it likes to test it at least once, and it did right there and it came back down. So sometimes the test can be really a massive move. Like if he held it, it would have paid off on a longer move, but it did reject it here and it did reject it, the 37, which is the white. But usually when it touches, it likes to touch that moving averages at least once. So I do look for that in massive runs. And I do like playing those because I could show you them over and over and over. Like right here, it started to get away and it came back and tested it once right there. Right here, it flushed down, it came back up and touched it right there and rejected. I mean, it just, you look at right here as another perfect example. It came all the way up, came back down and touched the 20 EMA at once. So it always, I can't say always, because it's not 100%. Nothing is 100% in trading. But 90% of the time, it's going to test the 20 EMA at least once and reject or bounce off from it, depending on the direction. In this case, it went above the 20 EMA and it came back down and bounced off from it. So you can almost always depend on that. It's kind of like BABA and BA. Nothing is 100%, but it's a good 90% play right here. Same thing, it jumped right up, came back down, retested it right there, bounced off, came back on, retested again, and just, I can show you this all day long. Right here, got away from it, came back down, 20 EMA, right there, bounced right off the 20 EMA. I mean, I can just show you this forever. Right here, came back up, tested the 20 EMA, and it just dumped. I mean, that was a catalyst that day, but I can just, right here, jump back down, came back up, tested 20 EMA, 37 EMA, and it dumped. Right here, it did the same thing. It dumped, came back up, tested the 20 EMA, and dumped. I could show you this all day long. I'm not going to waste your time in showing this. You can go and look at this all day long, and you can see how it reacts to the 20 EMA. So now, the last play of the day, I had, let's see, I had 405. I said I had calls. I posted calls on my Twitter feed. It was not calls, it was puts. I had 45.05 puts at 338, which is right here. I grabbed them right here at 55 cents. It popped back up, then it slammed right back down, and it didn't even go green. It just, it ended up being a loss, so it didn't quite work out. Now, I was thinking end of day. We haven't had an end of the day flush on a Friday in a long time. And after this monster run up with the conditions in Afghanistan, anything can happen over the weekend. And you would think that people would take their money and get out and not be long, and profit taking have a massive drop end of day on Friday, but it just did not happen. So I was very surprised that did not happen. So yeah, that was a gamble. I was basically just thinking that we were going to have an end of the day dump, and it just didn't happen. We haven't had an end of the day dump on a Friday in a very long time. So Friday, end of the day, has just been very choppy and pinned, and it's kind of been sucking, to be honestly. So yeah, so that's going to do it for the video. I hope this has helped you understand why I did what I did, what I was looking at, and hope to see you in the room, and thank you for watching.